Mhm. Good afternoon. My name is Daniela, and I am the director of the Cultural Center in Pretoria, and I am your host today. Today's topic is Africa through the lens of a wild heart Brazilian. And our special guest is the Brazilian wildlife photographer Janaina Matarazzo. Good afternoon, boa tarde, Janaina. Welcome to the program Brasil em Foco, África do Sul.
Boa tarde, bom dia, Brasil. Obrigada pela oportunidade de estar aqui, poder compartilhar um pouco da minha vida brasileira pela África. Muito feliz de poder compartilhar aí com vocês um pouco da minha história.
All right, so can you tell us for those in English, for those who are listening to us as well?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's a great pleasure to have you here in the program, and I really believe that it's going to be a very, very special time to get to know about you and your work here in Africa.
Yes, and yeah, thanks so much for you and everybody that is out there now or is gonna be, checking this video as well later, and very, very good to share all of this with you guys. Yeah.
Yes, and now we are going to learn a little bit about your life, Janaina. So, Janaina Matarazzo is a Brazilian photographer born in Sao Paulo, Brazil. She studied industrial design and ethnological photography at Belas Artes and FAP in Sao Paulo, Brazil, from 1997 till 2000. In 2008, Janaina moved to Botswana, Africa, where she lived for 10 years. During this time, she also traveled to the Arctic region and also to the Yellowstone National Park, America. In December 2020, Janaina moved to South Africa, where she's living now. Janaina also had several articles and interviews published in famous magazines such as Harper's Bazaar Brazil, Time Airlines, newspapers, radios, etc., which can be seen on her website. That is www.janainamatarazzo.com.
Yes.
So, Janaina, it's such a great pleasure, to learn about you and to ask you some questions about this wild heart Brazilian. So, Janaina, how did you end up coming to the African continent, first Botswana and now South Africa?
Yeah, I had always a dream to see Africa wildlife and lions and giraffes and elephant. Always loved animals since young, and I also, when I left the university, a few years before I went to Africa, I was actually involved in the third sector, which means my life was already going towards doing something that have a meaning, or helping the environment or the people. So I was already searching for doing something else, and I searched for some like wildlife conservation projects in Africa, like something that I could do for a few months. And then I was actually working for the sports secretary in Sao Paulo when I left. Before I left, I managed to, it was so amazing to learn, how much I learned with working with the government a little bit. I didn't, And then I decided to go to Africa, and to work in a safari camp for 3 months and get involved in the wildlife conservation. And also, my English, it was very poor when I arrived in Africa. And I knew that I could improve my English a little bit as well coming to Africa, to Botswana, because they also speak English, such as in South Africa. And then I I arrived there and I absolutely fall in love with the wilderness. Like it was
So what
perfect. And then also because it was a project that involved wildlife conservation, working with the community, so it was, everything was together, you know. I could do something that have a meaning of, you know, helping the people, helping the environment, helping wildlife, and at the same time being an absolutely amazing, you know, place.
And then before you came to Botswana, did you have in mind to just photographing, or was it for a short period of time, or did you decide to come to Africa, to Botswana, for the rest of your life? How, you know, how did this happen, you know?
Yeah, you see, I did photography in the university, and I always wanted to. I had a Pentax, like an old camera, and I wanted to photograph. And I started working for a studio in Pinheiros in Sao Paulo as an assistant for fashion photographers. It wasn't really what I wanted to do. I think it maybe in 1 year I disconnected from photography, and I really it's disconnected from my life. When I got to Botswana, I had a very simple camera with me. I did carry a camera. And slowly I wasn't understanding that, wow, this is what I want to photograph. And then the photography started coming again into my life, and to actually tell everybody about this. I arrived with a very simple camera, and then every 1 year or every 2 years or every 3 years, every time I was going to Brazil, once a year I used to go to Brazil, I used to come back with a little bit of a better, like an upgrade, you know, like a better one. But it took me maybe 5 years to really get a full frame camera and a proper lens. It took me 5 years. First, because I was actually working for a project in Botswana. I mean, first I was there for 3 months, and then I apply, you know, it's all about the visa, apply for the visa, wait, go back to the visa.
Sure.
So all of this process takes time, and I was not earning much money. For during 5 years, I was really, I was earning money with my fine art, but it took time to also start getting, you know, people getting to know your work. And it took a long time to actually get like, this is, you know, what I'm doing. This is, you know, I have a good equipment. I remember I went to a gallery in Sao Paulo, and he said, did you take your photos with the full frame? And I said, no. And then he said, well, you know, your photos are beautiful, it's amazing, but, you know, if you don't have a proper, so you need to invest, you know. And it took time for me to do that, because I was earning very little money, because I was actually more involved in working with the people and the camp about conservation. I had volunteers. I was actually the manager of the the volunteer project there for many years in this camp. So yeah, the photography took time to. I didn't arrive in Botswana the first time with all of the equipment that I dream of. You know, it took time to.
But the first you had this idea of staying for a year, for 5 years, or how was it?
So I organized my life in Sao Paulo that I would go to Africa for 3 months, and then I would go back. So I used to rent an apartment, and I left a friend of mine living this apartment with all of my furniture and everything. But those 3 months in Botswana was enough for me to say to myself, I just want to stay here. And you know, the camp said, okay, I can see you have a lot of energy, you can do, so you can stay here and get this project, this wildlife conservation project going, and you're going to work. We're going to apply for your visa as a volunteer. So my first year was a volunteer visa for that first year. So I was so keen, and also, I mean, for photography and to experience wildlife. When I got to Botswana, was the dry season. which is October. And now I want to see the rainy season. I want to see the winter. I want to see all of the year, you know, changing and the colors and everything. So wow, I need to spend another year here to see all of this, you know. So when I got back to Sao Paulo after those 3 months, I was already waiting for my visa. We applied, and then I got back to Sao Paulo. I got to this apartment, and I'm like, I want to give everything away. I want to get one, and I'm gonna go back to Africa. I don't care. Like I didn't think about, you know, too much how is gonna be the future, or what's gonna happen, or blah blah blah. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do.
So
and
you
decided just like that. I don't know the future. I just know that I have a visa for the next year, and I'm not getting any cent paid, but I'm gonna go for it.
So you decided to quit, to live your life in the city, in even your own country, to come to Botswana as a Brazilian, as a city girl, to live here in Africa, in the midst, like in the nature. And tell us a little bit about how you left there, because you said that you lived in the camp.
Yes.
So how was your life there?
You know, like for me, Sao Paulo also, for a while, I was in a point, I think, that I was like, wow, do I actually want to live in this city for the rest of my life? And I was like, no, I don't. I don't want to look at the horizon and see buildings. I don't want to have the pan. My mind was already set, like, I don't want to, you know, live in the big city. Obviously, I could have gone to so many other places, but also I wanted to explore other countries, and also the African wildlife. So I put everything, you know, like everything was, I want to do this, I want to do that. So that's what I need to go, you know. So it was perfect for that reason. And yeah, it was difficult. I had to sold all of my, you know, furniture. I had a small, you know, apartment, but I was so happy, you know, I was so excited. And the project was so full of, like, I could see so much potential of what I could be doing in this project. And I could see, you know, that I could do so much. And when I got the visa approved, I thought, I'm gonna go and I had one bag, and that's it. And then off I went.
And you lived in a trailer, didn't you?
Yeah. So what happened is, during like about 5 years, I was based in this hotel, safari hotel. And it was a beautiful place. It is, but they changed because they sold. But it was like a tented camp. With outside shower, but everything was beautiful. The shower was from India. There was a lot of beautiful touch, like, you know, design touch into it. And it was on a riverbed, right in front of a riverbed, where the animals used to come and drink water there. And so they, you know, I had breakfast, lunch, and supper from the hotel. So I didn't have to cook, which was a good thing. I was pretty much focusing my energy into this project, you know. And it was nice because it's you know, there was a lot of tourists coming and going, and people wanted to donate, because there was a non-profit part of the camp, to donate money and help here and get involved and go to defense patrol with us, and you know, all of those things. So it was a very active, like, lifestyle. Even though I was living in the bush, I was, you know, doing so much and meeting a lot of people from all over the world, and it was very, very nice. Yeah.
So you were photographing, and then you were also serving the community, the nature, the park as well.
Yeah. So it was like, you know, everything that we were working with the people, the community, was about teaching them the, you know, the importance of tourism for their lifestyles, and protect the wildlife, because it's this human wildlife conflict that, like, one day I went to the village there and there was like 4 cattle dead, completely dead. One lioness or maybe 2, they came there and then they just kill like lots of cattle. They didn't even eat, they just killed them. And leopards killing the goats and all of those things. So it's very difficult to, how do you deal with this situation? So I did very well. Like I developed different type of projects there with the people. I understood what we need to do, and I developed. I started like a curio shop inside the camp, and I started an arts project with the people in the community and the staff as well. So I start, teaching them through volunteers from Europe, from Brazil, how they can teach people to do some different type of arts, and we can sell to the tourists, and then the people can be they can get finance from tourism rather than rely on, because also the cattle industry in Botswana, it's most of the beef industry goes to Europe. So the Europeans buy beef from Botswana. So the cattle, for a local person in Botswana, for the local people, is actually business. It's not because they think the cattle is cute and they want to eat. They don't eat it themselves. It's the money that they have, that they sell once a year, whatever, they come and then they. So if the lion kill a cattle, is actually killing his pocket. That's why I thought we need to give the money from tourism. So if they can make more money with arts, why they need cattle?
Sure.
So all of those things that I learned over the years and I developed, and the project was doing really, really well. It was very, very good.
Wow. And then let's go back a little bit to the photography. So
yes.
What did you really, everything, yes. It's very interesting. So, but how did you focus, or what did you focus on your photography while in Botswana?
So, because I was living in the bush, the camera was always with me. Whatever I was doing, whatever was happening, if there is something there, I couldn't take a photo. So I am hunting for images and taking advantage of, because taking photos of wild animals is basically, you need to be in the right place in the right time, and also have your camera with you and have the settings correctly, because things happen very fast.
Sure.
So I was always ready for action, you know what I mean? Like, and so I first started shooting more like zebra, elephant, giraffe, because lions more difficult. So the big cats, it's more difficult to find. And then I want to go to the Okavango, that they have more lion. So then my search for the area that I was living was not the best area for wildlife, but it's still very good. But it's not like Okavango Delta, that is more like have hyenas and, buffalo and all of that.
And did you enjoy, or did you find your photographs more beautiful, more interesting, more like in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening? Or it doesn't make any difference to you?
No, it makes difference. What happened, I only bought my car, it took me a long time to start driving by myself into the bush. I had to learn how to drive a car into the bush. It's not, people don't just go like this. And obviously, yes, the best lights are in the mornings, in the afternoons, but sometimes you see things during the day, and it's also as beautiful as in the best light. When you have the best light, is nice, but like elephant is very difficult to photograph because they are very dark and they create shadow, and they can be too dark, and so it's quite yeah, so for me was, even to this day, it's, I become more and more like, oh, this is not good, oh, that's not good, oh, this is not good, because you want something special, you know, and then you're always looking for, and it takes years. And I used to look at the wildlife photographers, like the guys who already been living in the bush for many years, and their photos, and then you look like, wow, and then you understand that, wow, they took years for them to get all of those images. It takes, it's not like you go in one safari and you're going to get all of the photos that you dream of, you know.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, so the light, it's very important, but it's also like, you know, people say the rainy season is the worst season. It's actually the cheapest season to go on safari in Botswana, for example. But sometimes the rainy season is the most beautiful season, because you have the clouds, you have the color. If you like color, it's stunning. I love clouds. Clouds are beautiful. So then, you know, it doesn't make much sense. You can, it depends on. So yeah, so I take advantage of, you know, whatever I find out there. And like sometimes you can see a lion early in the morning, but it's too dark for photos, because if it's before the sunrise, it's too dark.
Sure.
And then it's good. You can take a photo, show people, but not for a fine art. So you have also you start looking for more photos for what do you want to do with the photos. Do you want to sell to a magazine? Do you want to sell stock photography, or do you want to do fine art? So I'm pushing more for artistic photos, and it's very tough, because wildlife photography is not it's tough to get to, you know, otherwise it's very easy to get an average photo. And
wow.
yeah, it's hard.
In Janaina, you mentioned in your website that you exposed and endangered your life for a once-in-a-life photograph. How, you know, how is it? Yes, how is it?
Every time you go out there, you actually, you know, risking something. I'm not saying lion, but I think elephant, rhino. A rhino charged me in Botswana in the Rhino Kama, the sanctuary. I was with actually a journalist next to me. It charges badly. I had a situation also camping with elephants that was quite hectic. I was stung by a scorpion. That's nothing to do with going out there and taking photos, but living out there is already a risk. You know, I had many different situations of going camping by myself. It's because I'm used to it now, but I know that for a lot of people, I am risking my life, you know, because doing this, going camping by myself, I am risking my life out there. But I know, I don't feel in my heart that I'm risking, but I know that I am risking. You know what I mean? Like,
you have a family in Brazil. Do you think that a Brazilian would risk themselves? Like, would they have a chance to risk themselves in Brazil? Do we have similar situations? What do your parents think of you living in Africa and having these experiences?
Well, yesterday I sent a video to my dad, because I went to the park here, and then we saw lions early morning. And he said, "Oh, but are you okay?" And I said, "No, of course I'm fine, you know." But, you know, so my dad, there was a few times I was in Botswana in the camp, and I'm like, "Dad, I need to hang out. There is a Mozambique spitting cobra in the lounge here. We're just gonna have, but I'm not gonna remove. The guys are gonna remove. But, you know, I mean, I've seen so many snakes in the bush and so many things, and but, you know, they do a few times. When I was stung by the scorpion, I didn't tell anybody, and even when I had fever, I didn't tell anybody. You know, otherwise it can cause a little bit.
Do you perceive that wildlife in Brazil and wildlife in Africa can be different?
I think in Africa is more dangerous because you have, for example, elephant and rhino and hyena, buffalo. I mean, there are buffaloes in Brazil as well, but I think the African buffaloes are known by being quite a, you know, it's the only animal that the African people say, if you see a buffalo running towards you, you better run, because most of all that, it's like, don't run, stay still. But the buffaloes here, and crocodiles and hippos, so I think that there are more danger in the wilderness. But you know, in the Amazon also there are small danger in the jungles of the Amazon as well. It can be as dangerous, you know, but obviously it's different. But I do believe if you go to Pantanal, can be also as danger, but not as danger as in, yeah, it's a little bit more danger, maybe the
It
size.
is a little bit different, yeah, yeah. So, like from fashion to wildlife in Africa, lots of things, and your perception of photography has also changed.
Yeah. And you know, I had a friend of mine, Jade, she's a model, and she came to visit. She was modeling in Cape Town. She's her parents are friends with my parents, and then she contacted me, and then she ended up going with me. And I did a photo shoot with her, with the Bushmen, with the indigenous people. I love that. You know, I think when I moved to Dubai, I did a little bit of, I changed my style a little bit to see what actually, and I think if I would go back to the fashion world one day, which I doubt it, but I am an outdoor photographer. That's, I think, what I could call. I like outdoor. I like natural light. I don't like a flash. I have a flash if I need to use it, but my thing is natural, the outdoors.
So then you were in Botswana, and then you lived in Dubai, and then came to South Africa. So during this time, did you photograph in Dubai as well, or?
I photograph Arab wedding, which is only, you know, ladies. There is no men. Very interesting. I did dogs. There is a animal agency. It's like top models agency. That this is animal agency. So they agent animals for publicity, for photo shoots. So they have not wild, but animals in general, snakes, dogs, cats, birds. So I did a few photo shoots for them. That was very nice. I used to love to go to the desert and photograph the camels. The falcons, I totally disagree with the falcons. They cage them in. I totally don't like what they do with the falcons. I was not really interested in that. But I photographed for a Tropical, which is a Brazilian brand in the, you know, in Qatar. They sell acai. So I did beautiful work for them with people and ice cream and all of that. So, but you know, I was enjoying it, but it was always missing out. Like I was like, you know, I'm doing this, but it's not really like my thing, you know what I mean?
So your great passion is the wildlife, basically, or animals.
Outdoor, yeah, because when I went to the Arctic, the Yellowstone, I went to those places looking for the remote areas of you know, our planet. Like, where are the remote areas? Like Botswana is very remote comparing with South Africa, even Tanzania, Kenya. There is less population, more wildlife, and so the Arctic is very isolated and it's beautiful. Never been to the Antarctica yet, maybe one day, but it's the Yellowstone is an unbelievable, beautiful, well-managed park in the States. And so I look for wildlife. I look for remote areas, you know, if I can. And that's what I really like to photograph, yeah.
And then you ended up coming to South Africa. You got married to a South African, and you are here in South Africa. So what do you photograph now? Yes.
Yeah. Huh?
And what do you photograph now?
Now, finally, I'm back to the wildlife. So since we got back from Dubai in December, we've been, myself and my husband, he left his job. He's a pilot. I met him in Botswana. He got an opportunity to be working in the UAE, in Dubai. We went there for 3 years. He didn't want to be there anymore. I also said, let's go, and I'm happy that we came back to Africa and to South Africa. But then South Africa, it is not a new country because I've been in and out here, but I haven't really explored South Africa as much as I would like. And we are living a nomad life. We have all of our stuff in a storage, and we are just, instead of paying for rent a house somewhere, we just cruising around and exploring, South Africa and visiting amazing places. So I've been photographing dolphins, a little bit of the ocean, the Transkei, like in terms of whatever I can, do it that side. And now we're close to wildlife park, so I'm going, I shoot wildlife. And then when we went to the Drakensberg, was snowing for the first time.
Wow.
And obviously it is nature. I love also making videos, and even if they are baboons, that they are beautiful antelopes and birds. So, but even, just photographing snow and beautiful trees, and that's also, I love nature. If there is no wildlife, it's beautiful. And yeah, and so I've been exploring this country as well, that I didn't know that much before, and I'm happy to, the Transkei was amazing. And here is also very nice. It's just, I got spoiled with Botswana, I have to say, because it's the wildlife there, it's very unique, because there are not many fences around places, just a big block of wildlife. And, but I am enjoying exploring South Africa, and I've been so far, really looking forward to explore more and just keep looking for those beautiful wildlife, dolphins, nature, and all of that.
And Janaina, you studied photography in Brazil. Now you are a photographer in Africa. You were in other countries as well. Tell me something. What was the foundation? What did you learn in the Brazilian university, the photography course that you took? What was the foundation? What did you learn that was really determining for you to, to continue photographing?
That when I did industrial design, the photography was part of the course, especially in Belas Artes. That was the first. I did 2 universities, Belas Artes and FAP.
Yes, that's right.
In those days, we had the analog cameras, was not digital yet. So it was film, then you go and check your, It was a different type of, I couldn't print large with that type of camera, with the digital camera, you can print a large photo, unless you have a very expensive camera for film that you can actually print bigger. So in those days, the fundamentals of photography, we still had to go to the dark rooms and have,
to develop, yes, yes.
So different, right? Of totally different. I wish I could go again. No, I don't. I mean, I don't wish too much to be going. You can. I'm more also. I enjoy videos as well to combine. I do some little bit of videos here to combine, to show a little bit of the movement of that photo. It's nice for people to do that. But I think, the photography changed so much from the university. But it was just, I don't know, it was just this wanting to to photograph, to capture, you know, images, and to just look at things. You know, it's almost like you want to show what you see. You know what I mean? Like, let me show you how I see things. What I see. Photography is a funny thing. It's just you want you know, to show your eyes what you see to other people.
You kind of like want to show, to share what you see to other people, to
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Janaina, I'm very curious. Would you like to share some of your work with us?
Of course, I would love to. Yes.
So, let's see.
Yeah, I love. It's funny that I love zebra and elephant. Most zebra, they are so playful, and they do. And I imitate zebras very well, which is.
Oh, really? Would you like to show it to us?
Yeah, sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't. But you know, zebras are very funny. You can really entertain yourself with them. They can just run away, you know, when you stop next to them. But sometimes they play with each other. They kick each other, and then they are really funny things. And yeah, I can do a little bit.
Would you? Please.
They go like.
Wow! Oh, wow, this is amazing.
Have you seen a zebra, Daniela?
The zebra?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So you recognize the sound a little bit.
Yes, I can recognize the sound. Yeah.
If I do that to a Brazilian who never been to Africa, and they will be like, "What?
You are weird." So, shall we share a little bit of your work?
Yes. Would you like me to show some, or you got some?
I've got some. So let's see
Okay.
what we have here. Okay. I just have one picture here. But let me just get to the other pictures that we can share. Let's see.
And yeah, an elephant. I mean, while you were choosing, I mean, you know, the lions is something everybody wants to take photos, but lions they can be boring, to photograph, because they are usually, yeah, because if they are not doing something like walking and in that beautiful light, and they are gonna be sleeping, so they're gonna be sitting, you know, and so it's not
attacking the prey.
Yeah, but it's rare to see the attack. I mean, yesterday I had a very beautiful. I woke up at 4:15, and I want to get there early, because that's the time you're gonna maybe see the cats and the hyenas and leopards and whatever. And we spotted this lion far away, a lioness, and wait for them, you know. And we almost saw a hunt. We almost saw them hunting impala.
Wow! This is exciting.
You see them hunting it. Even if you go on safaris all the time, it's not. So it's not easy to photograph a lion in a or a leopard or in a tree. You know, I always wanted to photograph a leopard in a tree, and I'm like, how am I gonna do this? It took me years to get a photo of a leopard in a tree. It's not like you go out there and you're gonna find a leopard in a tree, you know. It's and I like to say that they are wild animals, and a lot of people go to projects where they see, you know, like volunteering but petting wild animals, and I'm not like that much, or you know, those animals are wild, you know, in a vast area. So when you get a chance to see something, it's very, very unique, special.
And what is your tip? Because many times we, with our Brazilian minds, you know, we want to see the wildlife, but we don't see anything. Because you needed to develop that skill of finding mainly leopards, and you
Yeah.
just don't see them easily.
No, even with a very good guide, you can be with the best guide and maybe you won't see them. But being a good guide, I mean, I have quite a lot of skills that I developed over the years, so I can, you know a little bit how to look for things.
Sure.
But still, that's the beauty of wildlife. You never know what you're gonna find behind the bush. That saying is like, and that's the most amazing thing when you go on safari or when you go on a game drive. You go out there and it's completely unexpected. Like you don't. I mean, you know that you might see some zebra, some elephant, a giraffe, a kudu. I mean, but like yesterday, I saw wild dogs, and that was a surprise as well. Very, very
Wow.
interesting.
Wow. And
So it's like, yeah, it's you never know.
And do you always carry a pair of binoculars, or it's not necessary at all? Always. Uh-huh.
I didn't have binoculars before. I've been taking photos many times without, because also I have a big lens. So,
Yes, that's right.
but binoculars, it's nice to see birds. Sometimes I have to say that I didn't lose. I lost some photos maybe in the past because actually I didn't look. Like there was a time that some elephants came past me, and I was actually quite aware, like, what am I going to do? Should I move the car? Because sometimes you stop the car and then they just come past you. It's not that you stop in the wrong place.
Sure,
So
yeah.
if there is elephants this side, and if you have your camera and you're not paying attention, like I'm by myself or maybe somebody next to me, it's not that I have a guide. And then so I lost some photos because of, and also being in a safari vehicle as well. Sometimes you wanna just see that thing with your own eyes, like you take few photos, but then you're like, let me see this. And so when you have a binoculars and when you go out there also, you see more without taking photos. That's the truth. Like you enjoy
Yes.
more.
You do enjoy more. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay,
That's,
so shall we share some of your photos?
yeah.
And I'd love you to, while we are looking at the photos, would you like this to share some of your experiences? So let's see.
Yeah. Would you like me to
Uh,
put some? No.
Let me see if I can share this properly.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so here, can you see the different photos?
Yes, I can see. You can. Yeah. Now it's going. All of them. Very
Okay,
nice.
this is in Botswana as well.
Yes. So Gilo Hills. It's like a very nice area there.
Okay, and this
Baobab.
this was your car and your equipment. And so, like,
Yes. Yeah.
did you spend like hours in the same place, or would you be
Um,
moving?
I used to be based. Like I was based
Mhm.
in one place for maybe 2 or 3 nights.
Okay.
And then I used to drive either the whole day, but sometimes I used to leave at like 5 in the morning, and sometimes I would come back to take a break, have lunch, and I usually have a shower during the day. If it's winter, I will have a shower during the day. If it's summer, I'll shower before I go to sleep. But I will take a little break, and then I will go again from 2 until like sunset. And I used to drive like this for 3 days. I love driving. Yesterday I drove for like 11 hours the whole day.
Wow.
And sometimes I could stop. I love giraffe, and giraffe sometimes, if they are together, they could do things, they could play, but it can take 1 hour, 2 hours. It can take nothing. So you need to have patience, and you need to stop and really spend time with the animals to see something, like. So
And
I to stop and maybe sometimes just hang around a while, yeah, one place.
And Janaina, we can see that like you did so many adventures, but did you always invite someone, or did you do this by yourself? Wasn't it lonely? So,
Well, most of people that came to the camp that I was, or even before, like people from Brazil coming on safari, that I organized the safaris, and then sometimes join them on safari. But going to photograph in the bush, I like to be alone. I took people with me a few times, but I prefer, and it's because I really want to connect to the animals, and I want to concentrate, and put all of my energy into the sounds, what's happening, and be focused, and be quiet. I really like to be quiet out there, and I never felt lonely in the bush. Even, it's a funny thing, I really love it. I really connected. I don't feel. I'll check this scorpion.
oh yeah, was it the scorpion here?
Yeah, that was hectic.
Oh my word! And so when you came as a Brazilian, you arrived. What was, or was there any culture shock or any differences that really, shocked the community, or you were shocked?
The camp, like the managers, I think people were very impressed how proactive I was. I think Brazilian people like to work and like to get things done.
Sure.
And I think we are on top of the game, like we really like to, we are very clever. I'm not saying that the Africa, but I had volunteers from the UK and from Europe, and and then I had my friends coming. We had a beautiful project with the children as well, with those two friends of mine, Camila and Alexandra. The Sucatinha, they teach them how to do paper mache and all of those things. I think we are more, I was sometimes maybe working too hard, you know what I mean? Like, more than maybe even was a South African, could do. And I knew that was a Brazilian thing, and not even a Brazilian. I think I'm going to even put it this way. A lady from Sao Paulo, that is, according to my husband, Greg, he's always say, hey, you guys are full power, like work. And all of that work from a lady from Sao Paulo, came to this safari camp, which is more, and let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. I have this project, I want to do this. So it's so much to do, and so that's like, but I never created a shock or something that shame. The people that I had an art studio with the locals, and they maybe suffer the more, because I was like, guys, we need to produce. Look at those paper mache here on this photo, all of those beautiful works. Wow. It's a lot of work. And so I pushed them, those three guys, let's do it. Wake up, 7 o'clock, let's produce. Let's make money, because I was pushing them to understand that they can make money with tourism. They don't need cattle. They can make, painting lions. And that's what the environment, the conservation needs to.
Wow.
And so I think that was something that was good, to bring the Brazilian hard work and, creativity. Brazilians also, creative, and into, it was good. It was a good combination, good mix.
It was. And for you to have the pictures developed, did you have did you have in the reserve, and how did you have them developed?
What do you mean?
Because you just had, because I can see that some pictures, or you never have them developed. Is it just digital? the
Yes,
pictures?
they're all digital.
Uh-huh.
I do editing, but not too much editing, just like a little bit. But nowadays I'm enjoying, I have a new work actually that I've been promoting slowly, and it's a new work of a collage of a lot of images. It's quite pretty. I actually should have I can share with you after that.
Sure.
But usually I do editing a little bit. Look at those. This is the football that in the city, the city in Botsuana that I was living there permanently after the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do a little bit of editing, and also I need to prepare the images for the print.
Sure.
When I sell a work, depending on the size and everything, you need to be you need to prepare an image, and you need software. And so I do spend some time also on the computer work to deal with them and save them and all of that. Yeah.
Wow, they're stunning pictures.
Thank you.
And do you do exhibitions as well?
Yes, I've done some exhibitions in
Wow.
Brazil, and I work with different galleries. I had a lot of articles. And I just to just keep going, just keep showing more work and.
In Janaina, so what is the way forward?
The way forward is to keep going, to keep keep exploring. It's basically like my work is really, everything is connected. So it's the photography brings people to obviously buy the images, and then they want to know, and then they want to go on safari. And then when they come on safari, you talk about conservation, and then they become aware, and it's like everything is together. The conservation, the tourism, the photography, it's all of this, it's coming all together. And I think I just need to carry on, sharing more of the wilderness in South Africa. There is so many beautiful places here, and promoting tourism here as well, because before I used to only promote Botswana because that's where I was based. And I think I can also promote South Africa. I like to I really like to tailor made and really focus on, if I organize a safari to someone, I need to know the place, the reserve, what animals they have, what hotel, how is the hotel, what do they, I don't just send people like randomly to places that I've never been. So I have a policy of this. And I would like to promote South Africa as well, and find out what I think it will be a good combination, of safaris and show people. South Africa have the coastline that Botswana doesn't have. You have this mix here that is very nice. And I think that after this whole situation right now with tourism, that people can't travel, and hopefully people are gonna start traveling. And then I think bring people, carry on with my photos. I don't think I will never stop. My work as a photographer is just gonna continue with exhibitions, fine art, and with that, learning more about conservation, learning more about conservation. When you love wildlife and you go out there, like the other day here in St. Lucia where I am at the moment, the locals complain, there was a guy, he's a guide here, he said, the amount of poachers and what, people are doing, they're poaching a lot of wild animals here. And then then you're like, but what can I do to help, and why they are doing? And then, so your love for wildlife makes you also understand, want to do something, you know, and it's this passion of, you know, the wild heart.
The wild heart. Yes, that is right. So, Janaina, now let's take a look at the comments and the questions. We have here Deborah Rocha. She says, bom dia, Janaina querida, parabéns pela organização do evento online.
Que legal. Thank you.
Yeah, so it was very, very nice. And Janaina, to finalize, to finish our live, I just wanted to ask you another question that I'm very curious about. That what is the lesson that you have learned living in Africa as a Brazilian? If you leave Africa today, what would you take as a Brazilian that would be part of you, that when you were just in Brazil, you didn't have, and nowadays you have? So how do you, with this wild heart, Brazilian wild heart, that is, I would say that is Brazilian African wild heart.
Yes.
Would you?
You know, I was this morning, you know, that saying here in Africa that they first say, when you get the African bug, you know, you're gonna be stuck here, or there is like you cannot you can take a person out of the bush, but you cannot take the bush out of a person, and all of those things. You know, the simplicity of being in nature, you know, it's this I never been ambitious. Like, we need finances. I need money to go back to Brazil to buy camera. I mean, there are so many cameras. You know, it's expensive. We need a company that I don't need anything. I'm gonna leave it with a tree. But the simplicity of, you know, being with nature, you know, helping the people also was so good. I mean, I hope that I can carry on helping, you know, them some, because it's important to also do something for the people, you know, anything that it's just not about, you know, you do your work, but you can do something else to help either the environment or the people. And I think, but the simple life, it really, enjoy the simplicity of life, enjoy the nature, enjoy the sunrise. You know, I used to wake up and just like the animals do, you know, the lions, they sit there for the sunrise. You can see the birds, they wake up. The first thing you see, the birds go up there, and then they just want to enjoy that sun and enjoy the rain and enjoy the sunset and the dolphin swimming when the ocean is like this beautiful, you know, crystal and flat, and then just enjoy. It's like we learn with the animals how to enjoy this life and how to appreciate the you know, just nature itself. And I think that's the lesson that it's forever in my heart. Like,
all right. And then what places would you want to photograph in Brazil that you haven't done it yet?
So September, in August, September last year, I was planning to go to the Pantanal, and unfortunately that massive fire happened there. I was like, this time I'm gonna go. Every time I go to Brazil, I know that I need to go to Pantanal, and I know I need to see that area. The Amazon, I've been there when I was younger, but not like for a jungle like type of trip to go out there. And so I believe that I would push in Brazil for wildlife as well. I will try to go to see como é que é, os golfinhos da Amazônia?
The dolphins,
Because there are so many also things in Brazil, but what happened, since 13 years ago, I go to Brazil, and my main priority is go to Sao Paulo to see my family. and to see
Sure.
my friends.
Yes.
You know, you always have to deal with something there and this. So time becomes short. Like last time, actually, I didn't go to Pantanal. Then I ended up going to the south to visit a friend of mine, and then I explored Rio Grande do Sul. I went to the reserve, to the Cambará, beautiful areas, the park.
Sure. Yes.
It was very nice, but I need more time, obviously, when I go to Brazil to travel and explore more there. And it's always this thing, like timing and yeah. But I definitely Pantanal, Amazon, and yeah.
Yes. And so many other places to visit in Brazil, right?
And
Yes.
Abrolhos, I've been to Fernando de Noronha, but like Abrolhos, you know, the coastline with Brazil, yeah, so many places that I never been there, and
Yes. So, yes, it's a different kind of diversity as well, right?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Uh-huh.
You know that I had also something that I didn't mention, like in what is that in? There was a time that I went to Brazil for 6 months, and I spent time in a farm there. There was a time there in my 7 years in Botswana that I thought, let me see if I can actually go back to Brazil. I had this thing. I was working in an organic farm, not far from Sao Paulo, a beautiful, like chic organic farm, like touristic place, and I thought, let me see how I feel if I go back there, and maybe let me see if I can. And I spent 3 months, I think 3-4 months. Every day I was like, but where are the giraffes? Where are the elephants? Where are
You
all of
miss
those?
them. Yeah.
My mind was like,
Yes. Yeah.
where are all of those animals and the birds and the kudus and the zebra and you know, and
So it's
then
just part of
after
you already.
after 3 months in that farm, I was like, I told them I'm going back to Africa, and I left my life in the city there, my car and everything, because I was like, let me just see how I feel, and so I had this. I tried in those days to go back, and it was not yet the time. But yeah, we'll see.
Yes, and then finally, our time, I know that 1 hour is never enough, but I just wanted you to try to be brief and tell me to answer something that Deborah also asked. What can Brazil learn from South Africa tourism?
Oh, Deborah, well done, because Deborah, she's a friend of mine. She lives in France, and yeah, she actually worked with beautiful also people in the Cristalino Lodge in the Amazon, and she studied tourism. And yeah, I have to say that's very important as well. Even in the camp that I was working in this 5 years, that was run by English Botswana type of English like families, and they really professionals in the way that they do tourism, like professionals, meaning they transform a tented camp. Obviously there is wildlife, okay, and the wildlife is what, but they transform this tented camp, serving you champagne and whatever you want, in this luxury, like unbelievable experience, or can be seen as well. But I mean, they know how to give an experience like that you wouldn't have, and they are professionals, like in terms of the reservation, the way they run. I learned a lot with the camp that I worked for 5 years, about working with foreign, especially British people, and how you have to be serious in what you do, and also be successful. But that was a very good question from there. But I think Brazil has so much potential, and I'm not saying Brazil is not serious with the tourism. It's not that. It's just that I think they need to give more experience. Like people need to, what are they going to experience out there? What are they going to actually create, like a story of do like this lodge. They have a towel that I haven't been to the hotel, but they have a towel that you see the Amazon from the top, and then you experiencing something. I don't
not
know.
to see not only to see but experience as well.
Yes, like the Transkei, the South Africa Transkei. People do hikes there, 5 days hiking.
Yeah. So it's something that we can learn from them.
I think it's almost like the Europeans explorers, like adventurers, people that really go out there and let's create some crazy things. I think maybe Brazil, we are very creative as well, but it's like create like a hiking that goes from, I don't know, here to there, or like get a bus and take people all the way to, like some.
Do you know, Janaina, it reminds me of a friend who works in America. She's a Brazilian, wonderful researcher. Her name is Eliane, and one way that she summarized environmental education is that we Brazilians say protect the environment, meaning don't go to the environment, don't explore it. And whereas, protect the environment means, you go and you leave it as it is. You don't leave your trash behind, but you interact with it. So I think it's a very good summary. Go and enjoy the place, not only see what there is in there, but interact with it, live, enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah. That is very good as well. Yeah, protecting meaning don't touch, don't go there. No, you must go there.
Exactly.
Tourism, one thing I also understood a lot about, that's why my travel agency I name it Travel for Conservation, because the travel directly, it helps conservation and helps the environment and helps the parks and helps the obviously the tourism. If no tourists come to see wildlife and lions, and they don't go to the Pantanal, if people don't go to Pantanal, the cattle farmers are going to be, they don't make money, give me more land so I can do. So it's all those things, the tourism directly help all of them, and it's important to do a proper tourism that allows not protecting, even there are so many areas protected by UNESCO but you can still go there, see the place and enjoy, but it's protected. Nobody can touch that. Forever protected.
It's forever protected. Yes, that is right. So unfortunately, an hour is never, and it will be never enough, and we will have to end it. So, Janaina, once again, we would like to thank you for your presence, for your contribution. I think it has been really, really lovely and very nice to listen to the experiences that you have had, and it's just wonderful to see your beautiful wild heart, and we hope to see you again, to have you back in our program. And I just want to take this chance to let you know, to let all of you who are watching to know that this live event is available on Facebook page, on our Facebook page. If you like this event, you can also share on your Facebook or in any other social media. Next Friday, we'll be speaking with the Brazilian mask and puppet maker, Gilberto Conte. He will speak about how to make puppets from recycling material. Nice. And this is going to be really interesting as well. And also, we want to let you know that this is one more live event presented by the Brazil South Africa Cultural Center in Pretoria. And if you are interested in learning Portuguese online, or if you are interested in learning more about the Brazilian culture, contact us via email or visit us on Facebook or on our web page. If you also want to learn more about Janaina Matarazzo, you can visit her on Instagram. That you can find her page on Janaina
Yes.
Matarazzo, right?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much. We hope you have a lovely day, a lovely week, and we'll see you next Friday at noon, at 12 o'clock. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Beijos. Obrigada.
Beijos.
Thanks so much. It was very nice. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.